Good to hear. Let's hope your execution matches your enthusiasm. I've got a job for you if you're looking to keep busy. Here are the details.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of Soul Talk, where we talk Star Citizen from members of the community. Today is September 22nd, 2022, and we are live on Twitch and YouTube. For some reason, Twitch didn't want to load for me, but I just reloaded it anyway. How's everybody doing? I see Potton Face, Morioki, and Opchief, and Fish Face, and Rasta-san. How are y'all doing? And all your lurkers out there. So yeah, this has been an interesting week. I'm almost done with Sandman. I'm still watching She-Hulk, and I started Andor. I'm mixing reading books and playing new games. Marvel First Revolution ending has not been announced yet, but many of us are expecting it, so I'm kind of disappointed about that because I was hoping that it would be going on for a few more years. Oh yeah, and you can see my new name today, my new title, Community Treasure, and you can see in the middle why I'm called Community Treasure. So yeah, I have yet another title. I have so many right now. I'm wasting Khaleesi. But I did start a new game. It's called Tower of Fantasy. I downloaded it and installed it on day one in August. But I decided it was too action-based for my taste, and I uninstalled it. But there were various YouTubers who said, "Oh, I had fun. Thank you for the subscription. Appreciate it." There were various YouTubers who kept saying the game praise, so I gave it another look. It had an anime aesthetic, but even though it had fantasy in the title, it's largely sci-fi or futuristic, and that's my jam. So I'm kind of tired of all the elves and dwarves and whatnot running around, and Middle Earth running around. So I wanted something more modern, up to date, or even futuristic. So I reinstalled it on my PC this time, and I'm trying to plot my way through, but it has a learning curve. So hopefully we'll see if I can keep at it. All right. So I think that's enough about it for my week so far. But I just want to do my monologue. Hopefully people will catch on. But please note, as I start my monologue, this is all spoken in Vanduul. I'm using the Vanduul language. I mean, I'm technically speaking English, but I'm speaking as a Vanduul. So here we go. Greetings, my Stardust. I can't imagine what you think of me. When I was taken, I faced some bitter truth. I was told that soon enough the clan leaders would have you as well. As time went by, I knew that you were either dead or so well hidden that they would never find you. I knew that if I refused to work, if I took my own life, it would only matter of time before they realized that they no longer need me to complete the project. So I did the one thing nobody expected. I lied. I learned to lie. I played the part of being beaten, resigned to the sanctuary of my work. I made myself indispensable, and all the while I laid the groundwork for my revenge. We call it the Driller. There's no better name. And one day, the day is coming soon, where it will be unleashed. I lied about having breath mint unique, really? Thank you very much. Alright, so let's see if anyone can guess what that is. They want to bring people down. I'm bringing people down. A moment.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. We're joined by Big Black Gaming, Fix Face, Kaizen, Hot Face, and You Are the Smoke. Could anyone guess what I was taking that bit from?
I couldn't guess it.
I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
But also,
didn't
I'm
hear-
gonna put it to you like this: how do you say that you're talking as a Van Duel, but you're not doing any inflections as? I mean, I get that you don't.
I'm not an actor, okay?
I mean, but you could have at least kind of slurred, kind of growled your words and did all of that other
Cough
stuff.
up a phlegm, cough up a lung.
mean,
Yeah,
do
I'm not about that
something.
life. I'm not
Like,
about that life.
Well, wait a minute, but how do you say, like, imagine me speaking as a Van Duel, and then you just speak normal?
Wait,
That's
to
what
your
you
point, to your
imagine
point.
for.
I did miss it.
I left it all up to you. How about that? But could anyone
Your
guess
point,
where
fastcart.
that's from?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Unfortunately, I clicked over to the thing a little bit late and I didn't hear it.
Okay, it's
Do
from
it all
Rogue
again.
One.
No.
It's from Rogue One. It's when the main character's father was talking about having revenge when building the Death Star.
Oh, early on. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. When he was dealing with that weirdo, that Australian dude.
Community treasure.
A timely reference.
Can you go live for me?
Oh, my bad. Yes.
Thank you, treasure. Thank you, treasure.
You're welcome.
Wow.
I gotta find the right window real quick. That's not it. I'll do it in a bit.
Okay.
All right. So up first we have. Let me check my. Yep, we're going to sneak peek. So you'll see it on the screen in a moment, and I'm going to bring it up on the Discord. Oh, that's
Hooray
why I
for
couldn't
life,
find it.
baby.
So yeah, you see it on the screen,
Oh, that's, I like
and the
those
subtitle is "I Need Some Space."
Mhm.
So what do people think that's from?
CPK, baby.
TPK.
Looks like
Korea.
Ah,
It's, I mean, it's pretty obvious.
what everybody else
It's correct.
thinks.
Like, it's just
Yeah, I think he's right.
the textures are different.
They definitely put some new paint job on it.
Did
Mhm.
they add?
Yeah, it looks like Airview Hanger.
What do they call them? Metal detectors, like along the door.
Yep.
Yeah, that is. That's true.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you guys a question. What is Korea really supposed to be? Like,
So it was previously, it was a security station that was abandoned and it became derelict, which is why it still had the computers there that you could hack your crime stats on. But now they're adding in actual sort of gameplay to make it like a live space. And, obviously there's been a little bit of kerfuffle from some people saying like this is going to mess up my ability to clear my crime stat. And the fact is, we honestly don't know yet what it's going to do for stuff like that. We do know that CIG has said they're going to add some ability for people to clear certain crime stats administratively, but by just paying a fine and whatnot. So who knows? We'll see.
Well, you always could pay a fine. It just
Well,
tier
they're
1 and
expanding
2
it.
Aren't going to get. You're not going to be a criminal. You're not going to get a shot.
Correct.
Before you could pay the fines anymore. Which is silly.
Lore wise, it makes sense for there to be some reclaiming that station. It's huge. It represents a huge asset. If you look at how big it actually is,
It is huge.
So it is a big space. So I like the idea in this sneak peek that maybe we're seeing a refinement of space and maybe an expansion of the spaces.
And when it comes down to it, we really don't know exactly what they're adding. So, like, if they added very little but took away some whatever, then I get where some people would have ruffled feathers. But maybe they're going to add a little bit. Maybe they're going to add a lot. I mean, like, I feel like there's a lot of things when it comes to Star Citizen that people like to critique and complain before they see what the hell it is. So, like, maybe let's see what it is, and maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, but maybe we wait to complain until we see it.
I hope they add more ways to get into it, like little secret compartments, like at the bottom or the top of the station.
Kai, I just want to say that is too reasonable.
I know.
Yeah, all that rationality.
I'll never get a job at Kotaku this way.
I didn't know that was the goal.
Evidently they make a big buck from all the clickbaiting they do, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like with various things this week, whether it's one content creator somewhere getting a bug up there behind saying, hey, come 3/18 in 2 months, insurance isn't going to work anymore. Spoiler alert, yes, it is. Or everyone going, $500 million, no game, scam. And it's like, maybe just chill. Maybe wait and let's see how things go.
How do you say no game?
Right? Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you answer, Treasure? Can you answer a unique
Treasure
question?
I love that.
I no, I just did. It said the treasure equals family joy. Let's say if you want. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Okay. I see it now. Okay. Just want to know. Inquiring mind.
And that's community treasure, not just treasure. Treasure made me sound like, no, we're on YouTube. I'm not going to say what it sounds like.
Community treasure sounds worse. To
Oh,
be honest. Yeah.
okay. I can see it like that now.
Yeah.
You want
Community treasure sounds worse. Yeah. You didn't think about it, did you?
No. Anyway, so yeah, that is the sneak peek. I just need some bass. I'm not sure if that's from a song or probably from a song. That's what they normally say, but I don't know what song that's from. Anyone know what I need to? I just need some bass from.
Wait, what? Where does it say? I just need some space.
I just need some bass. That's the subtitle for the sneak peek.
I don't know what song that is.
Okay, Unique.
Yeah. Oh goodness. Unique is hitting you hard.
Yeah, I see that. That's all right, Unique. It's gonna be a long show. I'll get you somehow. Anyway, so up next we have. Oh yeah, this is something we're gonna all talk about: the GeForce introduction for the 4000 series. Did anyone watch this?
Yeah, some of it.
Yeah,
It was horrible.
I watched it today because I didn't get a chance to see it before. But yeah, so well, what do people think? What are people's thoughts?
I thought the presentation was weak, but the most instructive thing about the 4000 series I thought was DSS 3.0.
Yeah.
And the anticipated gains in FPS that folks are going to have from experiences optimized for it. The problem is that 3.0 requires that 4000 series card.
Yeah.
And you worry about whether development or consistency of development, the DSS that most people have, if an RTX card now, is going to be updated, maintained, the light of DSS 3.0. But the gains that they're claiming, again, like Kai said about a lot of other stuff, we're going to have to wait and see. The gains that they're claiming really be transformative for people who don't have the ability to afford super high-end rig. This technology will help them get PS and resolution gains that.
Well, I don't know if you need a whole rig. You just need that one video card. It's one video card, right? Hopefully.
Well, Dig Dad let us know this week you can get a rig from Star Citizen for $500. So
Yeah, I saw that.
No, Dig Dad. I saw someone. Oh, someone else did the video. He meant to talk about it, but yeah, I saw that on Reddit today.
Well, and hilariously, in the Nvidia thing, they were like, they gave a benchmark that was absolute nonsense. They were like, it's 40% faster than this thing that
I
you don't know
saw
how
that.
fast it is. And it's like, okay,
Yeah, give us the
but
other axis.
how fast is it? It's
Right.
way faster than this other thing that you don't have yet and can't test. No, I would like to know how fast. Like, it's like, how fast were you driving? I was driving 45 miles an hour faster than the imaginary car in my head. But how fast were you
listen.
actually driving? It's like, don't try to get me to give you facts.
I'm gonna tell you
Yeah,
this,
they were
guys.
talking about the re-release of an old game. It was Half-Life.
Mm. Oh,
Oh
And
yeah, they
Portal.
sure did. They
Yeah,
sure did.
Portal. You're right,
Mm.
Portal. So they're
Portal.
saying like on the new Portal X, it's like 40% faster than the old one. I'm like, is Portal X out? Kai just didn't mention is Portal X out yet? So yeah.
Yeah, give me a benchmark that I can actually
Mhm.
quantify in some way.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I'm gonna put it to you like this. Is my opinion. Down with Team Green and up with Team Red for this year.
Oh yeah.
You really? You think so?
I
I'm,
mean,
I'm gonna put it to you like this: if you follow the reports of the 700, the 7,000 series,
Mm-hmm.
it's beast mode.
On top
Well,
of
the thing
that,
is- go ahead.
no, you go ahead, please.
No, okay. I was gonna say the thing is, I have a G-Sync monitor, so I'm Team Green.
I get you.
What were you gonna
I
say,
get
Kai?
you.
So, very, very, very importantly, this is a thing that's not in the keynote, but it needs to be addressed. Kind of one of the premier card makers for Nvidia is EVGA, and
Right, I heard about
EVGA just announced, yeah, we're not doing Nvidia anymore, and that's like, that's huge and very, very telling. But I think with a lot of these things, and it's very apropos that we're saying this in a Star Citizen show, people make a lot of claims. And whether you're talking about CIG making claims that they're going to do amazing stuff that, you know, they may or may not do, it remains to be seen. Or the haters making all kinds of claims that Star Citizen is screwing you over this way and that way, and oh my God, and without proof. Like, it's easy to be a jerk off saying stuff on the internet. Like, let's
We do it
see
every
how
week.
it plays out. Well, but I feel that Soul Citizens does a really good job of basing stuff on the facts that you have at hand, and when you don't know, going, well, we don't know. Well, let's see.
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. A lot of people are afraid of saying they don't know, but you know that's the truth a lot of the time. So,
100%.
Now,
I'm not afraid of saying that. Go ahead.
the thing with Nvidia that has been really, I don't know if you guys been following it too much, but the thing with Nvidia when AMD announced their 7,000 series cards, and they, you know, and people were talking about the performance factors, and Pops can, you know, confirm this and actually talk a little bit better on this. Nvidia was trying to come out, you know, with their 4,000 series cards and trying to compete, but their architecture required so much power.
Mm-hmm.
They were having issues between the power supply companies. They were like,
Yeah.
"Look," and Pops,
Yeah,
you can tell it
I
better.
heard about that. So
Yeah.
currently the 4,000 and the 7,000 series will just use normal power supply. Is that correct?
Well,
I mean,
we're not really
use
sure.
them.
Yeah, we're
Not
not really
really
sure yet about the AMD side, but what Nvidia did was they figured they couldn't compete with AMD's architecture, so all they did was raise the power. It's, you know, so they could get more juice out of what they had, but then you now have to go to a new power supply. You have to basically
But
almost, you know, you have to have the adapter.
I was just watching
Yeah.
this video, and it said that the power supply just remained the same, but they're giving us 4 times, well, 40% more or whatever.
Fast cart.
and that's
Real quick. Everybody stop listening. Everybody mute. Fast cart. Sometimes people on the internet lie.
No way.
Yep,
Really?
I know. I just blew
My
your
ears.
mind.
Oh, here it is right there.
That's the thing to
That's what
remember
we're
with-
talking about. That's what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
but that's the
Hey,
thing to remember with Nvidia is that there was people were sitting their need to satisfy their shareholders and their revenue projections. It's a generational cycle that may or may not coincide with generational cycle of people purchasing cards or the development in games in general, right? So when people were sitting with a 1080 or a 1080 Ti, it was a great generation to be in, right? Because you were able to those cards had value in the economy, and so when they introduced the 2000 series, they over promoted gains in FPS and the gains in performance because they really wanted to move into this ray tracing period, but the game development hadn't embraced ray tracing at that point. So there was a whole period where they were selling a major feature that didn't really exist out there to play, and they were rightly criticized talking performance when really the performance from the 1000 series to the 2000 series wasn't there. So when they went from 2000 to 3000, people were hesitant, and rightly so.
Wait. BBG, are you saying that sometimes salesmen sell you the highest dollar amount thing they can sell you, regardless of whether or not that's what you want or need?
That
Mind
never happens. No way.
blown.
That happens all the time.
What was funny, what was funny about the 3000 series, right, was that the performance gains were there.
Yep.
Right? So now you've got this inconsistency generation to generation, announcement to announcement from Nvidia. So these special broadcasts, to Kai's point, you got to take them with a grain of salt because their very history is, well, sometimes the performance is there, sometimes it isn't. What they're saying about the 4000 series looks good, right? But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So right now I'm going to fast forward a bit because here it is right here. So this is the price thing that they were talking about. So the RTX. Oh, okay. So talk about the 490 and the 480. Oh, $899. And the I'm pausing right there. The 4090 is supposed to be 1500 or 1600, and the 4080 is supposed to be around 900. I think the 4070 is going to be around 600 or 500, if I'm not mistaken. So. We don't know about the reviews or anything like that, but is anyone thinking about getting a new card this year?
Can I say this? One thing too with BBG, another layer here, what BBG is talking about with ray tracing. Now the next thing up is called path tracing. Yeah, it's the next thing that's coming up that time. So ray tracing is probably gonna fade away pretty soon anyway.
The other thing to keep in mind is that every one of the video card, the what is it, GPU makers, every one of them way over committed and extended on chips because with the 30 series there was such a demand higher than the what is it, supply. Thank you. And that was due to the glut of crypto farmers that were using these cards. So the crypto market absolutely shit the bed, and now all of the video card makers are trying. There were articles about multiple of them, including Nvidia, trying to get out of commitments they had made to pre-purchase chips. So they had to. So the chip makers in Taiwan had them by the short and curlies, and they had to try to reserve as many as possible because of last year's scarcity. Now that the crypto market completely imploded, all of the card makers overextended. All of them were trying to get out of contracts. Taiwan told all of them, "Stuff it. You're stuck to this. You're going to take these." When you see the prices on these cards, just watch. You're going to see very, very reasonable offers in the not too distant future whatsoever. This is not last year.
You are correct. And you are correct, Kai, because what they said in addition to that was the chip makers, that's what I'm talking about. They said, look, no, this is how much you ordered. What we will do is work on you is we'll split the order. We'll release some later on.
Mm. Okay.
So
Alright.
unlike last year, where if you heard a rumor that someone was going to get in 2 cards, people would be showing up at 5 a.m. 4 hours before the store opened to try to get
Right.
one of those 2 cards. This is not that. You are going to be don't kill yourself trying to get one while you can. Let it wait, let it chill just a little bit. There's going to be very reasonable offers out there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for me to answer the question, like I have a Series 2000 shot. I have a 2080 Super, so I'm thinking about upgrading to a 4080, but I don't know about 899. If it was 799 or or 699 maybe, so we'll see.
It will
Yeah,
be
you might want to
soon.
think about staying away from that 4080 for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll wait until what's it called?
Yeah,
Until AMD
wait.
is out.
Yeah.
Then the competition really will start.
Right.
Yep.
But yeah,
Wait.
we'll see.
That
Well, that and there
4080.
was that third group that said they're going to start getting into the market.
Intel?
I forget who it was. Intel. Yeah.
They're
Intel.
No. But look,
Look out.
Fastcart. Even if you don't want to buy their chip, when their chip comes into the market, it puts pressure on the other chip makers, other card makers, to lower their prices. So even if you don't want to mess with them.
But part of the problem
It'll
is,
be better.
if you play that game, you'll always be waiting for the next big thing. 'Cause, like after
No,
that,
I don't know. I don't know Fast Card. I think there are moments, right? I think
Mhm.
this is a moment where there is more value in letting things settle, right? Particularly as Founders Edition cards sometimes don't have the innovations third party cards have. That improve some cooling and improve all the other system integrations that you want to do. Combine that with what Kai just said about this other parties entering the space, you might see more value to not be a first mover on this generation.
Yep.
Right?
This is not last year.
yeah, it's true.
Last year was
So-
a seller's market. This isn't.
So
Sorry.
I think that's all we're going to cover for the GeForce presentation. But I just want to say that in relation to Star Citizen, people are advising to just wait and see. I'm going to wait and see, especially like for all the reviews and everything. So that's it for the GeForce presentation. So thank you all. Up next we have last week's Star Citizen Live to talk about persistent energy streaming. This isn't my bag, so I went to the Numifier and got it. I got the summary of it. But did anyone have any thoughts about this? The last week's Star Citizen Live?
I'm deferring to Kai.
Oh no. So this is the thing that another content creator very famously just started making shit up and said, as of next month, your insurance won't work anymore. No, that's not at all what they said. That's very clearly not what they said.
Somebody
I
said
thought
that.
I thought yes. I'll tell you later off air. I don't want to say it on air. Or check this. Anyone who's interested is like, I want to know. Check the Soul Citizens Discord. You can join it. The link is right here in this stream, and you can read it.
Thank you for that. Yeah, make sure if anyone wants to come in and chat with us, click on the link below and come chat. So thanks for that. Go
All
ahead.
the tea and whiskey can be poured in the Discord.
Yeah. And so I thought this was a very good talk. I thought it was interesting. I thought that there were some things in there that I can get that some people will not be thrilled with, as far as everyone's been saying, PES is the holy grail. This is going to change everything. And I think that CIG was very much aware that the community had that feeling. And I think that they very much wanted to sort of manage expectations. And so basically the big theme that they started this talk with, and they got into some details afterwards, but the big theme that they started with is, if we get this right, you won't notice a whole hell of a lot change at first. It's going to just lower, manage expectations. Let's relax. It's not going to be overnight that this changes the whole thing. But the building blocks of what this is over many iterations in the oncoming, months and year or two are going to drastically change the game. I will say, if anyone has not seen, there's a phenomenal content creator that your show has called out before, even like 2-3 weeks ago, Ray's Guides. Ray's Guides
Mhm.
did a
He's a good
phenomenal
shot.
thing where he says, you only think you've been playing Star Citizen. Here's how it's going to change. And it's a phenomenal thing. So I thought that this SCL was great. I thought that the stuff in here was really, really good. And that the fake drama drummed up by one particular person was just dumb.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Truly.
I agree with that. I think that
Mhm.
this particular Star Citizen Live was really in line with how they've been talking about this since CitizenCon 2951. And if you
Mhm.
recall, that
Mhm.
CitizenCon, a lot of folks talked about it being dry. That's because there were several sessions where they talked this type of stuff, right?
Mhm.
And it's not as sexy as everybody would like, but they've been clear since object container streaming, replication layer, the iCache was a step back to take a step forward.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
and now static server meshing and the steps. So their re-emphasis here of properly position your expectations, recognize that we've got to take a little step, particularly really little steps first, because we're moving everything into this system and then see what breaks, right?
Mhm.
This session, I think, has been consistent. The message from Chris Roberts around, hey, we're going to be in PTU for a couple of months at least. All of that has been relatively consistent for me. And I feel like if you're paying attention, you can follow the steps that are going to be required to get to ultimately dynamic server meshing. You understand the community that wants it now, but our wants can't overwhelm our rationality and understanding what they're saying to us. I think they've been clear, and this was another session where they were clear.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well
All
said.
right.
Good point. Well said,
Mhm.
BB.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was last week's Star Citizen Live, and like I said, if you want to catch the summary of it, check out the Nubifiers link or video.
Nubifire did a phenomenal. Nubifire and Board Gamer both did phenomenal recaps of that. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And up next, we have the big news. We were taking guesses as to when this would happen last week. I guessed next week. I was wrong.
That's right.
Oh, I
I
thought
thought you guessed
right.
next week, last week, which means this week, which means you'd be right.
Yeah, so yeah, the community got together and yeah, new milestone, $500 million reached. So, and unfortunately, there was no letter from the chairman again. So yeah, that's two milestones, well, three technically.
Is that
but
really
yeah.
unfortunate?
Yeah, so I'm disappointed with that. But yeah, so yeah, $500 million reached, and we are at, I want to say, $75 million or almost $75 million for the year. And I think last year we hit $86 million for the year, and this is only September, so we still have 3 months left. So I don't know what to expect coming up, because we got CitizenCon, then we got AAE, and then we got the holiday season. So 100 million for the year may be possible, but we'll see. What do people thought?
Oh,
Mhm.
I mean,
It's, well,
know what?
people believe.
I'm going to say this. Roll, low, 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 low. Because here it comes.
Yeah, it's yeah. Before we get to that, I just want to say, so this is the visual thing I wanted to show. But yeah, so last year the 86 million. You can't see my cursor on the thing right now, but that was 86 million last year, and look how close we are to hitting that. We're like this year, and it's only September.
Mhm.
So.
Mm.
And you see how big that red bar is for November. That's IAE. So I can imagine how big that's going to be this year. It's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
to say the
Oh
least.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, if
If I
they
was taking
drop
it-
a
if I
new
was taking-
ship,
Yeah, well, they
was-
will. They
Mhm.
will. And if you look at the
They will
orange,
what?
orange is May. So that's Invictus week. That's why orange is so big. So
would you
we
say
like,
BBG?
I think we doubled orange, doubled May
Mhm.
this year compared to last year. So
That's what it looks
Okay.
like.
Mm-hmm.
What was you gonna say,
I'm
BBG?
here. I'm just saying I'm here for CIG's reach to exceed its grasp. I'm here for them to do
Mm.
something that hasn't been done
Mm.
before. And everybody ain't here for that. I get that, but that's what I'm here for.
I'm waiting for the billion.
So I'm like 500 million to do 2 AAA games that are trying to function at the highest level and introduce new tech. I can imagine if you were doing Rockstar from the ground up to execute GTA and GTA Online, you'd be around this number, if not higher. And so
much.
I didn't watch Montoya's video, but I saw the thumbnail.
So let's talk about that.
I agree
because I have it. So here's the thing: I didn't use Kotaku's actual article. I went to something called.
Oh, they made an article.
I went to what's called the Internet Archive or the Wayback Machine. That's the Internet Archive. And someone already put their article in there. So this is Kotaku's article. Star Citizen has now raised over $500 million. People are talking about it in China already. And the game was first announced in the year of our Lord 2012. So Montoya talk about it. A whole bunch of people talk about it. It's people call it FUD for fear, uncertainty, doubt. We have to deal with this crap every single time that we hit a milestone. So yeah.
I got 100 games in my Steam library. I got 100 games in my Steam library. It's okay for one to be reaching for the stars. It's all right.
There you go.
You'll be okay.
Hey,
right?
Was I right on the money about singing that song?
Yeah.
Yes, you were.
I would like to. So, did anybody else on the panel actually see the Montoya video yet?
I did.
No,
I
did.
So, I want to point out what he says in that video, which I think is a very powerful and very, very astute statement. And I don't want to pass this off as this is my brilliance to anyone. This is Montoya's point. All credit goes to him for this because it's very, very insightful. He says that in the article here, of course, they're being Kotaku-ish, and that's to be expected. But he said they bring up other games that they refer to budget-wise, and they say like, oh, this game and that game and this game had this budget and that budget, whatever. A very important thing to keep in mind with regard to Star Citizen is the other games that were sort of mentioned there. They were talking about games that had not been released and that had where they were saying like, hey, comparing this to budgets of other unreleased games. And Montoya's point was, wait a second, you critics out there are always saying that this is a release game, that people are out playing it now. So let's be fair for a moment and look at this compared to other online games that are out now, such as GTA Online, such as, all of these mobile games that they have opportunities. So if you say a game has raised a whole ton of money and it's not even released yet, well, then the premise that you're saying with regard to that is that they're not selling skins, they're not selling vanity items, they're not selling, power packs or upgrade this or that or whatever. They don't have an online shop that is actively generating revenue. Star Citizen most certainly does have a playable game that you can play now. It's not full release, of course. It's alpha. Everyone knows we're not trying to misrepresent that. But people can play it today and do by the tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, whatever. And people can buy stuff in the online cash shop today, which they do in the millions, as evidenced by the fact that they've generated $500 million in revenue. So the point that Montoya made was he said, let's pull up some of these online games that have cash shops that are selling stuff right now. And he pulled up one and he was like, I forgot what game. He's like, they made $26 billion last year off of online sales or whatever it was.
PUBG.
Yeah. So, and he's like, they made like whatever, $26 billion. He's like, they made like 80 million or 8 million, whatever dollars a day.
I have it on screen now. It's
there you go.
$8.1 million per day in 2021. So if they make if it starts, it doesn't make CIG makes $80 million a year. They make that in 10 days.
So the point that you make there is when you consider the fact that this is a game that is playable now, not in the full release version, but playable now. And when you compare this to other games that are online right now selling stuff with their online store, which this game has and other games have, the amount of money that this game is generating is quite impressive, but is by no means something that is like shocking the world in its excess. So I thought that was a very good point, very astute, and I thought that
It's
also
a great,
not for
point.
nothing.
It's a great point.
Not for
If I
nothing.
can add,
This game is way more in what it's going to offer the world, in my personal opinion, than PUBG.
Yeah.
yeah,
True.
because
Just to
that was
put that
going to
into
be
further perspective, in March 2020, when the world went into lockdown, PUBG Mobile there $270 million a month for the next 2 months revenue. $270 million. So in 2 months, world went into lockdown, PUBG Mobile made what Star Citizen has made.
I like to add to what BBG and Kai just said. It's even though they, Star Citizen was received a phenomenal amount of money. It's what you do with the money that, to me,
true.
that really
Good
is
point.
what counts.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that, both what you do and what you're trying to do.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
I'm here for the vision.
Exactly.
They don't want to be honest about what the game is trying to do. They don't.
Mm-hmm.
They don't.
Oh,
fit
the
narrative.
critics? Yeah, of course.
They can't,
but
because when you do something unique,
Mm-hmm.
very often it's not seen for what it is until after it's done.
Right, because I don't know what PUBG is doing with their money, but we can see, and I'll go to one particular point, just one thing, AI, and you can see the difference in what Star Citizen is doing just in that avenue. I've never seen a game that's developed. I mean, we haven't really seen the full picture, and we get reports on it through Squadron 42, what they're doing with AI. I've never seen a game do that. So that money is going in, being placed back into the game. It's not like it's going into Chris Roberts' pocket, because he probably could have walked away years ago and put out a game that wouldn't have been close to what we have today. And we all would have been like, oh, okay, it's a cool game. Yeah, great, fine, fantastic. But he's putting it back into the game. But it is what is impressing me about what he's doing.
Well said.
Well, very well said. But let them tell that Chris Roberts
Agreed.
then walked away.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the Kotaku article, and that's 500. I almost said us because we don't see a penny of that $500 million. But that's CIG hitting a milestone, $500 million this week on Tuesday. So yeah, but hopefully we'll be getting a letter from them, and better late than never. But we'll see.
Community treasure. Can I just say that is one of my bugaboos and pet peeves is when people say we raised 500 million.
Yeah,
we didn't raise nothing.
Yeah, we didn't do crap.
If we raised it, then I'm looking for my Star Citizen checking the mail. I ain't seen nothing yet. So the CIG raised it, and we as a community supported it. But they are the ones with the money, right? And that's okay. But this ain't. It's a reminder that we are contributing to development, but there is no. We don't want to make sure the community doesn't get the impression that you invest in something and you're going to get a dividend and a return.
Yeah, that's the other game, but we're not going to talk about. Thank you for that, BBC. All right, so up next we have. Oops, I scrolled down by accident, but this is the Spectrum Dispatch. This is the law article called "Booty Call Dumb Luck." I did not get a chance to read it. Yeah, that's what it's called. You see it on the screen right there.
Let's keep in mind that the last week or whatever we had the Talk Like a Pirate day or whatever week or whatever. So
Yeah, I think this is
Pirate
might have
booty.
Might have been part
Booty.
of that, but yeah,
Pirate booty. Yeah.
We've had previous really called articles before, and I for the life of me I couldn't remember what they're referencing, but I remember enjoying reading the article, so I'm looking forward to taking some time to go through this. But yeah, this is the in-law article. The link is in chat, so go check it out.
Right on.
All right, so up next we have, this week Inside Star Citizen. This one is 11 minutes long. I think it's longer than usual compared to the 8-minute one that we normally get. Not as long as an hour, a couple of years ago, but yeah. So this is 11 minutes long. Sit back and relax and enjoy.
Star Citizen is a globally distributed project. With 5 studios across 4 countries and 2 continents, people from all over the world have come to Cloud Imperium to help make those tandem games we're creating all that they can be. But the Persistent Universe and Squadron 42, with some minor exceptions for Xi'an and Banu, have been a mostly English affair so far. That single language focus is not uncommon during the development of any project. But as we approach the next major milestones for Star Citizen and Squadron 42, it's become time to begin the process of expanding our language support to match those of our players and communities around the globe. With that in mind, we'd like to take this episode of Inside Star Citizen and introduce you to one of the newest teams being built here. Now, currently less than 6 months old, let's meet some of the folks working to bring localization support to Star Citizen and Squadron 42.
I'm Yagoda. I am the localization lead at CAG.
Soy Brice Fajardo, soy especialista en control de calidad de localización y vengo de España.
I'm Jonathan Lowndes, and I am the localization and English dialogue pipeline producer.
Hola, mi nombre es María Laura Palestrini, soy especialista en localización para español en CAG.
Donc, je m'appelle Yannick Simon-Klein et je suis le spécialiste localisation à CIG à Francfort.
안녕하세요. 한국어 로컬라이제이션 스페셜리스트 최유진이라고 합니다.
Localization is much more than just translation.
We have the full control of the tone we want to give to the game.
The localization specialists want to break the language barrier.
We're really trying to give players the best experience we can.
And understanding how important it is to take games to other audiences.
We've started thinking about localization very early at CAG.
Well, usually localization is one of the last steps in game development.
In this particular situation, we wanted to make sure we have aligned everything from
legal text, marketing, dialogue, scripts for dubbing, anything that has to do with UI, descriptions.
We want to make sure that everyone can enjoy the game, regardless of wherever they are in the world.
Normally what I do, day-to-day basis is adapt to the text type I have to deal with pertaining translation.
We also have to adapt that whatever is not translatable in words is actually understandable anyway.
It's about experience, right? It's about culture.
I found out from the Korean community, they actually made this Korean patch for Star Citizen. And I guess that made me realize the users are actually willing to play games in their own language if they could. That actually motivates me a lot.
There are a lot of conversations with other departments to make this as immersive as possible.
As LQA specialist, I'm in charge to, once we have those translations implemented in the game, to ensure that those translations are both working correctly and they are correct in the context.
We use a tool called Starwords, in which narrative inputs their English text, and after they approve it, it gets sent to us via the same tool, during which process we export it out into our translation tool. Then we translate it, proofread it, edit it, and do any necessary corrections as needed, and then export it back into Starwords, and from Starwords into the game.
Visually, you can see the work that an art team or a cinematics team do, and you can go, yeah, I can see the flair there. But it's not until you speak a lot of these languages, you understand that maybe there's an Easter egg, maybe the wording is similar, is lifted from a Han Solo monologue or something, and then you're like, oh my god, you squeeze that in and it fits. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
We have to be very careful to adapt the product to there is in a format and appropriate form for each locale.
To be fair, I think a lot of Korean people are fairly familiar with Western culture, so we use a lot of English words, sometimes as a meme, sometimes that's just as a professional terms.
A word that is very, very common, and it's in European Spanish people, to grab something is coger, which in most countries in Latin America, it means to have intercourse. So that's a really funny difference that we laugh about all the time.
As a producer, I have my eyes 12, 18, 20 months down the line at any given point, because I live in spreadsheets and I have to try and plan everyone's schedules out all the way into the future. So having recently been spending a lot of time in that, there's some stuff in there that I'm not allowed to talk about, but I can't wait until everyone gets to see it.
We are all very passionate about the projects, both Squadron 42 and Star Citizen, and we want to make sure that the translations provided are the best possible. We know that our community is very engaged, and we know there have been other translation endeavors for Star Citizen as well. But we try to engage every single user, not only the people who have played the game for a considerable duration of time. So bear with us, not every translation will be as you think it could be. We will try to make improvements as much as possible, and we hope that you're going to like it.
The Siege of Orison was the Persistent Universe's biggest and most ambitious dynamic event yet, pushing at the seams of AI, server performance, FPS systems, and more. And while it recently returned to players in last week's Pirate Week celebration, we wanted to check in with the team and discuss some of the fixes and adjustments that went into this second wave of events, and the advancements to all of Star Citizen that came from this technology-stressing event.
We were watching the same stream at the same time, and I see Elliot
giving him little hints,
desperate to give away the secret.
I was just very excited,
and he's getting more and more obvious. And I'm like, Elliot, maybe, to a point where I can't write what I want to say in the chat anymore, so I'm texting him.
Stop.
Just stop. You are going to give it away. And ultimately he did. The whole point of Siege was to push FPS and healing gameplay, right? And looting and all that. Been in the game for several releases, some of it, and it wasn't being used to its fullest extent. And we thought, well, what better way to use that and actually show players that the consequences of being downed.
The cool thing about Siege is when we have a big event like this, it gets us a lot of sort of improvements to the game. Because of Siege, there was some sort of more of a focus on looking at some of the back-end type performance, and they found issues, and that's unlocked 100-player servers for people. It helped to push towards it. Over the course of it, already running, me and Luke was watching streams, and we was having constant conversations as to ways we could improve this mission, not only for future iterations on it, but also just in the quick patches we can get out. We fixed the bug where when you completed an objective, you wasn't instantly paid. You should have been instantly paid, but instead what was happening was it wasn't being given instantly, but it was collecting, so when the mission ended, it awarded it all at once.
We fixed a number of flow breaking issues as well, where bosses would just fall through the floor and be unreachable.
We added an objective, a secondary objective for disabling the anti-air and give a reward for it, so players knew that it was something you could do, but also it isn't the main focus.
We've taken steps to prevent griefing around that first area that you get off of a shuttle. We now spawn Crusader security that kind of take up guard posts at that shuttle stop. We hope that's enough to kind of ward off the griefers.
We changed how the ending kind of happened. Before it was very you got an audio line saying please leave, and then that kind of reoccurred. We also added this to the HUD so players can see actively a please leave. when any player leaves the area, the mission will complete for them and they'll get all their extra rewards that were required. One thing we noticed was players were server hopping when the event had finished to try getting another event that had just started, and because of that they wasn't getting all the rewards from the mission because of that bug I previously explained as well. We are working on dialogue improvements.
Near us out of the sky, I've got heavy hits locking down
Now
each of the
arriving
platforms.
at Solanki platform.
You don't stand a chance.
As we noticed, a few issues and ways we could tighten up some of the dialogue and audio lines. Working on extra things to do in the mission, so even if people do arrive late, they'll have something to do. And many other things like that, but I don't want to go too much into it.
Thanks to everyone who's participated in Siege of Horizon. It's been really fun watching you guys and hearing your feedback on playing the event.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that the localization team is hard at work reinterpreting Squadron 42 for several languages and cultures around the world. That turning an eye to Star Citizen will begin with external web resources before they dive into the depths of the Stanton system. And that the Siege of Horizon wasn't just a fun event for our players, it pushed the underlying technologies in ways that have improved experiences for every aspect of life in the persistent universe. Now remember that our CitizenCon livestream will be this October 8th at 8 a.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. UTC, and it's really like an entire season of ISC all crammed into a single quarter day. There's gonna be some cool stuff. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you all here next week.
And we're back. So yeah, that was ISC for this week. Let's go in order. BBG, you there? I see you muted. There you go. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say I appreciate the focus on localization. Jared said there at the end in the what did we learn this week that localization seems to be focused really on Squadron 42. That's okay, but I think that the nuance with which the localization team is engaged is going to make sure that they catch colloquialisms, and it's better that they have folks that look like they're a generation or two younger than me, so you can catch some relevant colloquialisms and not generation gap the player base. So I was pleased to see that there was a broad team that was focused in on that. And the siege improvements are important. The iterative approach to this is important. We don't want to see an event get dropped and then have CIG go into silence mode and not know that they are taking every opportunity to refine this every time they roll it out. So that was good to hear. I think GoMab makes a great point in the chat, which is the LTs have to spawn. They have to spawn in a place that players can get to. I saw players developing strategies when I was doing Siege in the game chat, like, hey, let's do this thing in order. And they were discovering that doing it in order and not having people like speed run to the admin center, for example, is allowing the event to manifest fully. And so, players wanted to have the whole experience, so they were doing that. But, CIG's got to develop the event iteratively so that if people do that, it doesn't stop the event from spawning for everybody else. So I'm glad that we're seeing that, and I like the localization team. It was good to hear from them.
Thank you. I've been remiss this almost entire show. Join our Discord if you want to talk about any of the top topics that we're covering. Right now we're covering at ISC, but yeah, click the link below and join our Discord. Fixed Face, what are your thoughts about this week's ISC?
Yeah, basically what BBG just said, glad to see that they're adding, like I said, localizations, for other languages and other people, around the world to play the game. Also, I really didn't get a chance to play Siege of Orison, and test it out as much as I would like to, but hey, there's always a next time. But I'm glad to see that, they got the data that they hopefully need to push the technology so the way that they can improve it, because that's what we're here for.
Yeah,
and that's my 2 cents.
Okay. No, you're 2 credit or alpha credit. Put it that way.
There you go. Appreciate you.
No problem. Kaizen, what are your thoughts?
Great stuff. So we have to keep in mind that I think pretty much everybody on this panel, at least, we're very privileged in that as it stands right now in society, in the world, we happen to be the dominant language speakers. So we take a lot for granted that people make things such that it's native to us. So the fact that Star Citizen has teams of people that are working to sort of try to bring that as expressively as possible to other communities around the world, I think is very important. So good on them. And
are you sure we're bigger than China?
So we are the dominant lingua franca. We're the language that is used for entertainment purposes. The Chinese market invests in Hollywood movies and TV shows and this, that, and the other. There's definitely a Bollywood market and there's definitely a Chinese market, but for the most part, even big games that come out of China or come out of Korea or come out of wherever, they are put into English to sell worldwide.
Okay. Yeah.
To your point, fastcart.
I just wanted to ask because I was like, I know what you're saying, but I just wanted you to clear up what you meant. So thank you for that.
No worries.
On the straight numbers, it's 1.13 billion speakers in the world. It's 1.11 in Mandarin speakers in the world. But the sectors where speech dominates, to Kai's point, continues to emphasize English. Right? There are different sectors of business and of culture where English is the clear leader.
So what did we learn today? No, I'm kidding. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Pops, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, good point to Kai and BBG about the language. The young lady that I remember years ago, the young lady that mentioned that there's a word that translated into sex in another language. I remember years ago, well over 20 years, there was a car, I believe it was Ford. The name of their car, when you translated it into a different market, they wanted to market this car. Meant something with Satan. It was insulting in this other language. So they had to actually sit down and figure out a way to call this car something else so that it wasn't, insulting. And these things happen all the time. And it's a lot of things like that that go, on the other side of gaming that we really don't see. I know Ashes of Creation touched on one of the biggest things that budgets in a game is acting. And acting, they mentioned acting takes half of the budget just on acting alone. Just like we know a good friend, Anna, which plays, what's his name, Rowena Dooley.
Right.
There's a lot of characters.
Right, a lot of characters. Yeah. Because she's the greeter at Microtech, right?
Microtech,
yeah. Right. So they are putting in a lot of work and a lot of avenues that we normally don't really think about. And again with the NPCs, that this game is being done so that it's immersive, and it's just really, really good to see that they're doing other languages and giving everybody that same feel that we do. So my hat is off to him.
Yeah, I cannot wait, and I think Pop will appreciate that. Griffin will too, but I can't wait till the localization into Jive Talk. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So why don't we just add Ebonics? Okay.
Maybe CID could hire us, and we could make a localization team just for that. Or probably be a mod for that. But you might as well. What are your thoughts about this with ISC?
I think it's very ironic that they want to put all this much effort into accommodating the rest of the world when most of everything involving the game is in the Queen's English. It's kind of funny. I'm like, there's no American things, no American accents in none of the characters. Just there. It's weird. It's a thing that I've always thought about.
Is it still the Queen's English, or is it the King's English now, or is that too soon?
Oh God, fastcart. Oh. Jesus.
I'm asking for a friend.
Jesus.
No, continue on, Uri. Did you finish?
No, I wasn't. But I would like to see. How do y'all feel about like if other languages were more represented in the game, like other English variations, the dialect of like Spanish and stuff, and characters? Like, how would that be? Because we run into characters, oh, not characters, players that don't speak English. At least I do sometimes. They'll speak French or German, and the language barrier makes it so interesting. And like trying to figure out how to communicate what we need to like, don't shoot me is so much fun.
And my hope, Uri, is that they'll turn that into gameplay in a way, right? Like, so I could imagine a future that we're being presented with in Star Citizen where there's a bit of a mishmash languages that came before, right? And my hope is that, over the long term, maybe in Squadron 42, but certainly in the PU, the NPCs will speak a mishmash. But I could imagine, for example, having to get a translator for certain areas that you go to, not just for alien translation, right? But also for maybe colonies that have evolved in different ways. And the depth with which the development of, for example, the Xi'an language, and other alien languages that we've already seen, like the lexicons that have been built out and everything, makes me think that there's an opportunity here to embed Quanta with some of that as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'd love to see that. And I feel you in that, there's a lot of British English, because there's a lot of British English actors that are involved in the project. And there's an opportunity there for them to think more broadly about the question from a lore perspective. How did what's known as common era in which we're playing the PU,
basic,
how did that, or basic, how did that evolve, and what does that look like? Because we've seen other science fiction settings, there's a mix of other languages, right?
Agreed. There's always a mix. Like, everyone is pretty much bilingual in a mesh of all of the Earth.
See, you're right. I see it this way. I see it that all of the NPCs basically in Star Citizen are largely Brits. But I look at it the way that it's kind of like Star Wars, where all of the Empire guys were British, and I look at those guys, those are the NPCs, but all of the real cool people were either American or Wookiee. So I'm just the players are the Americans out there causing havoc in space, kissing their.
By the way, German record brought up a point that I was going to bring up. It's like maybe they could have some kind of translator with the mobiGlas. I think that'd be interesting. Like, how did you have Google Translate? How about mobiGlas Translate? So I think that I don't know if that'll be in when the game launches, but hopefully maybe somewhere down the line it might be a thing.
Yeah.
And you talk about being bilingual. I'm bilingual. I can speak bad English and worse English.
Yeah. Oh my! Never mind. Let's move on.
Community treasure.
Community treasure. Community treasured swag legend.
I keep trying to tell y'all, do not feed the animals. There's a big sign. So yeah.
Too late. I'm out there. Thank you very much. But yeah, I enjoyed it. There's It's IST. I'm on the article, but yeah, I one thing I did notice. I don't think anyone else touched on is that they had a new Babbage song in the background for the first half of IST. I love that song. It's by shoot, why am I blinking on his name? Shoot, Pedro
You get it.
Kamasi. Thank you.
There you go.
It's been a while since I said his name, so that's probably why. But yeah, Pedro Camacho, and I love that song. Yeah, I noticed that some people were saying Orison instead of Horizon instead of Orison. I thought maybe they would have nailed that down by now, but I guess not. So yeah, I think that's always going to be the same. But yeah, this is an interesting IRC. I enjoyed it. All right, so up next we have this week's Machinima. Now, here's the thing about this week's Machinima. 36 minutes. So you might want to grab a drink and grab a snack. So I'm gonna turn on the closed captioning. So yeah, let's check it out. This is from Duck of Death. We had episode 1 previously, but this is episode 2 of Blacklight Tide, Star Citizen Machinima, episode 2, Night Owl Division. So here we go.
Welcome back, 18, Hugo.
On it go.
Good to be back. I'm here on business. Anything new come through?
No, that's why I'm calling. Some new gang rolled into town. Oyabun isn't putting up work, and the coven have gone underground.
Yeah, that seems to be the case everywhere.
You should consider doing the same.
You know me. I don't cut one. Even when shit gets dicey.
They even ran red sand out of Stanton.
Damn it, I had
Plans for this red fox.
another time, I guess.
Ugh, don't be such a cowboy. You're trying to get yourself killed, aren't you?
Quality over quantity, right?
Oh, by the way, your crew came through looking for work too. Phantom said he was going to G-Lock.
Did you say Phantom?
I gotta run, I'll call you back.
Nice jacket, Starboy.
I'm thugged out, nigga, but I just ain't a motherfucking rainbow, bitch. I ain't that motherfucking thugged out, nigga. That shit beautiful than a motherfucker.
douchebags.
And keep your voice down. Ninetales. Bunch of hyped up sociopaths with the self-control of children and the budget of a small country. It's a nasty combination. Law enforcement aren't equipped to go up against them. Once they've infested a place, there's no getting rid of them. They have the gear and manpower to hold any location they want, and they only leave when they get bored.
Right. Paramilitary crackheads.
Nah, I know addicts. These guys are worse. There's no reasoning with them. They don't want anything. They're organized and passionate, but there's no end game. Most of them are probably more interested in being involved in a rebellion than actually winning one. Hopefully someone qualified comes along and deals with them, but until then, just gotta keep our heads down.
The criminal gang of Ninetales have launched an illegal blockade. Crusader Security is calling upon any trained security professionals in the area to assist.
Residents are locked inside their apartments in an effort to avoid conflict.
We are the chosen. We must purify.
A terrorist attack on the scale of an invasion is right now taking place.
I say to him, I go, I ain't got time to bleed my own blood. And then I shot him.
Fitting.
So, how you feeling?
I woke up in the hospital with the worst hangover of my life.
That's not a hangover, brother. You died.
Ha.
No, I'm serious. Someone got the jump on us. Connie's toes, we both barely survived.
What?
A lot has happened. When it's worth, it's good to have you back, Seth.
Yeah, thanks, I guess. So, what's been new with you guys?
I got us a new ship. She's fast as fuck.
Really? How'd you get that?
Gambling?
Right, gambling. You can't gamble worth shit. You stole it, didn't you?
Alright, I borrowed it and ghosted it.
Oh, well, that was nice of you.
That guy's been staring at the back of your head for 10 minutes.
What guy?
You guys want to bail?
Yeah.
Alright, where you parked?
I'm at an older land, a couple of blocks from here.
I'm Dr. Rikers. The X aren't putting up contracts. Let's get back to the safe house, see if we can find some work.
Alright, see you in a minute.
Hey, Noodle Beer, get you some beer fermented from noodles. Isn't that shit crazy? Yo, what about you, dog? Man, don't ever disrespect me with that sassy ass walk, you heard? Hey, what about you, dog? Noodle Beer, my guy? Don't ever disrespect me looking like a giant fucking blueberry, you heard? So I'm about to get smoked.
Hey, you! Beware. We can't protect you. The bottled water's recycled piss. I only drink beer. Sweet nectar. Capitalism is a plague. Where is the Navy now? Don't look at me like that. I speak no lies. I only tell truth. Beware. Beware the Blacklight tide.
What the fuck are you talking about, man? Relax.
Oh shit! I didn't recognize you. I'm sorry. I'm still going. 525. 536.
No place like home.
537. 538. 539. Remember, regen is not the end, my friend.
Hey, I think I'm being followed. The asshole from the bar with the staring problem.
You serious?
Yeah, bug eyes.
I'm sending something your way. Consider it a welcome back present.
What's this? Brute force.
Think of it like hardware.
find an access port. Just point and click, it's easy. Find something fast and ditch him. Oh, and make sure you got 90 seconds of the firewall triggers.
Speaking of gambling, this gonna bring heat on us?
Everything we do brings heat on us.
Yeah, fair call.
Force.exe initialized 90 seconds onto total system lockout. Identity verified. Welcome back, Commander.
I'm in the air. ETA 5 minutes.
Let's see if I can outpace this twin.
Cartool?
Yep.
And you?
Talent, heavily modded.
You can dance circles around him in atmosphere.
I've got some body tricks. Let's see if I can crash it.
See where they went.
Guns hot, watch my back.
I got you.
I think I see something. Phantom. Phantom status. Can you hear me? Look. Oh my god.
Scraping the dead guy's Moby glass. I'll let you know what turns up.
Priority comms in your quarters, Commander.
Cowboy.
Hey, what do you got?
There's a lot of good info here. Thanks for sending it my way. Here's what I can tell. There's some shady shit happening with Ninetales. They go after everyone and everything, but they don't touch Blue Triangle facilities.
What does Ninetales have to do with Blue Triangle? Where's the link? One's a gang of pissed off teenagers, the other makes aeronautics.
That's just it. I started digging into Blue Triangle. I'm talking hidden figures, black budget government
Someone is
projects,
jamming my
history
signal.
of less than...
I have been locked out of the comm system.
Enough bullshit. Time to get into the real stuff.
The hell? This is a private channel, state your business.
That comm satellite's back online any second. This rabbit hole runs deep, so take notes. There are rogue elements in Blue Triangle, and for the past several months, they've been creating a shadow army using duplicate clones. When someone dies and gets regenerated, a copy is sent somewhere else. We weren't sure why at first, but things are starting to come into focus. Ninetales are just the tip of the iceberg.
You were just listening to comms. You must think I'm stupid. That I'll waltz into your trap.
We're already in one. They've got everybody in Stanton rattled, including the Navy. The situation is only getting worse. We need operators we can trust to stop this thing before it gets out of control. I'm uploading coordinates for a site I want you to look into. Bring back evidence of what's going on there, and my team will be better postured to shut it down.
That all sounds dire, but not my business. Who are you? Why would I help you?
Jack Mercius, call sign Apollo. Combat veteran UEE Marine. You performed over 100 drops as a nail before you applied for flight training. You earned your wings and survived 50-plus sorties against Vandal, Xenothreat, and Pirate. Your eval reports say you became disillusioned with the mission of the UEE and dropped off radar after your service obligation was up. I'm not fucking around. I know about bruteforce.exe. I know that's a stolen ride you're in. I know before your friend died you were hauling narcotics. You could do a lot of time in Klesher for some stupid shit like that. Don't waste your talent, Jack. You help us. I can make sure those felonies stay our little secret. But you've got to be a team player. Your call.
Well, since you put it that way, my team and I are on it.
Good. And if anyone tries to talk you out of it, tell them to eat a dick. You've only got one chance, Apollo.
Overall, I think that went well. Bring up OP Highlander.
Microtech Data Center DDV6.
Alright, here's the plan. Got a tip from an anonymous source at the storehouse for Blue Triangle and might have something to do with Ninetales and your dead doppelganger in cold storage. We're being tasked with going in and retrieving something called Project Orpheus from an offline console located at the heart of the bunker's sub-level 7. Basic smash and grab. Hawk provides air support so Phantom and I can get in, hopefully undetected. Move fast, disable the comms with disruptor fire, preventing any calls for help. Stay on station and pick us up when we get back topside.
No problem.
Should be simple, we're in and out 5 minutes. I don't know what to expect in terms of opposition, but I'm going for silence and mobility. You sure you're ready for this?
Fuck no. Let's do it.
Alright, let's get to work.
G-safe disabled. Power redirected to weapons and thrusters. Flight plan and waypoint set. Welcome back, call.
Hello, beautiful.
Shall we start some shit?
Go for comms on final approach. Going radio silent on sweep until confirmed negative contacts. Game time.
Confirm. Tally bunker to your 12 o'clock. Disruptors on stagger, 5-6 minutes playtime.
Roger, good copy. Hold above a scan for hostiles. Start the clock.
Mark it. Looks like nobody's home. You think we got bogus intel?
Maybe. Wait a minute. This is how every bad horror movie starts. Where are the guards? Where is everyone?
I don't like this. Pushing up to server room. Access point alpha.
Copy, moving up. Intel was good. This is the place. What the hell happened here?
Looks like a bomb went off.
Looks like a siphon. More bodies. Looks like someone's siphoning a lot of power. What the fuck is going on here? Obvious signs of struggle, but no goons. Keep your guard up. This place goes deep.
Got our access point.
Right behind you.
can see you're approaching 20 meters. Comms should be cutting out any second. See you on the other side.
Just like a horror movie.
Shit! They're not moving.
What the fuck? The lights are on, but nobody's home.
They must be in some kind of stasis.
Fuck this place, man. Let's do what we gotta do and go.
I see it. Moving.
Get what you can and let's go. I don't got enough rounds for everything on the other side of that door.
Just don't let me get shot in the ass, alright? These aren't just clones. They've been lobotomized and enhanced for combat. They're stealing regen data to grow this army basically overnight. Are they trying to topple the UEE?
She was right. This is bad. Really bad. They wake up, we're gonna cut through them.
I'm almost done. This isn't the only site. This isn't even the only site on this planet. We can't leave this place intact.
On it. Back when I was a drop trooper, I used to raid places like this. Most of these bunkers are powered by pre-war fusion reactors. You can overload the core and trigger a detonation. Only caches will only get a minute or two to make it topside.
Copy that. You got that look in your eye.
Gonna light this bitch up. Get the files, rally at the elevator 60 seconds.
They don't call me Minuteman for nothing.
Weird flex, dude.
I think I got something here. It's been a long time.
Failure detected.
Street sweeper's dead. It's time to cut and run. Copy. Hawk, beginning egress. Break station in 30 seconds. We're heading topside now.
I got you.
We're not out of the woods yet.
Attention. Evacuate area immediately. Attention. All science personnel report topside.
Punch it.
Going back to minimum safe distance.
Energy detonation detected in primary reactor.
You alone? Huh? My team is on the ship.
Just say the word.
I got what you wanted. It's all there. Project Orpheus. Names and locations of those responsible, all of it.
Good work out there. Blasting the place was a nice touch.
We don't do half measures. So we good?
For now. I've transferred hazard pay to you and your crew for your continued discretion. We might be able to sway the tide thanks to this.
Whoa, we just get paid?
Would you look at that?
Standing down.
One more thing. I still don't know a single thing about you. Who the hell are you anyway? What am I supposed to call you?
You don't. When the time comes, I'll call you.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any after credit in here, so if anyone sees anything, let me know. But yeah, so that was Night Owl Division, Black Tide, Dark Citizen Machinima, episode 2 by EE evidently and Duck of Death. So, any thoughts?
Are we going
Free
in
for
order? Or
all.
we just free?
Yeah, free for all.
Free for all? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. Really great. Like production level on this is a lot of hands was on this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they whoever you said EE was in this involved in this. So one thing I will say, the production was good, but the writing of the storyline of this was very good. I whenever I see something like this, I always kind of think of it not just as a machinima, but I see it kind of as an actual mission that could possibly be in the game. You know, and which is kind of cool to see something like that.
Were you done?
hmm Okay. One of the well, a couple of things I noticed. The first one, okay, the gentleman that was having his little episodes. People remember the guy in GTA that would run around and he would say, "Call in air support."
Yeah,
I forget
GTA
what
4.
GTA. Yeah, GTA 4. I like stuff like that. And I hope they put things in the game uh like that. But another thing I really, really enjoyed was this when the guys were singing, because that used to happen in my neighborhood all the time. If people remember the movie Cooley High, when
Yeah.
right, when the guys used to stand on the corner. I used to see that all the time as a kid growing up, and I hope they put things like that in Star Citizen. That you're walking by and the guys are just standing there singing, and yeah, I
Well,
think that.
everyone is a critic, and especially everyone is a music critic. So when you see
Mm.
one person singing on the corner, they say, "I don't like that kind of music. Put my kind of music in there." Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna be a thing.
Yeah.
Would
Now
be cool though.
I will
No, the
say
music
this
has to
though.
fit. If the
No, go
music
ahead.
could fit the world, I think it'd be okay.
Yeah.
Like the
I,
area in universe.
to what Pops was saying about, putting in these little weird, quirky characters, like I kind of goes back to the beginning of the video where you had the noodle vendor. Like every time somebody passed him, you ever gone to like the carnival and a person who's in like the dunk tank, how they egg you on,
Mm-hmm.
call you names, stuff like that. It was like I'm like the noodle vendor is like one of those people. Because he's like, hey, come buy my noodles. Oh, he calling them names and all that other stuff. So it was it was really funny, but also like Pops was saying, it kind of gives you the element to see that if they put that in the game, it kind of makes the city feel alive. You know what I'm saying?
All right, cool. Yeah, one at the beginning of this episode, I couldn't understand the transmission. It was too modulated. That's my one complaint. I mean, it was so bad. Google Translate, Google subtitles couldn't pick it up either. So yeah. Yeah, I like the rappers in the armor. Pops just talk about that. Closed caption, maybe in the future, whoever did this can like put in their own script so that Google won't have to try to auto caption it. So maybe that's a thing. Oh, one thing in the middle of the episode. How do you wake up in the hospital and not been told that you died? I don't. That's the question I had, and I hope no one dogfight in the city like that in the future. That
Yeah.
could cause a lot of collateral
Mm.
damage.
I was wondering, can you do that? I thought it
Yeah.
was honest.
The
You
part,
can?
yeah, the outside of the armistice zone in
Yeah,
Area
you can.
18, other
Oh, okay.
areas.
I didn't. I
Yeah.
thought okay.
I liked
Yeah.
Mhm.
the writing and the sort of commitment, but in a non-awkward or really elegant way, to the colloquialism between the characters. And I like the cinematography. One moment that stood out to me was when they were descending on the lift into the bunker, and the camera was pulling back and up as they were going down. That was one of many examples where I thought the cinematography was great. The story was written in a compelling enough way where I was rooting for the protagonist to get out from under the thumb of the individual who brought them the mission and who knew his background. I was hoping that there was going to be a resolution where he was not only able to resolve the mission, but also get out from under her thumb. But maybe that's for the next episode. So I thought it was pretty good.
Yep.
It was worth being as long as it was.
It could have been shorter, but yeah. Griffin says, "Remember, we can be those crazy characters things in the game. Even we can be those crazy characters in the game, even if CIG don't put them in. So yeah, I'll probably be one of those crazy characters. I'm not sure which one yet, but yeah, we'll see.
Well, I mean, no, I mean that's true though, Griff. But what I'm trying to say, like when I play GTA, what I would do is like when I play GTA 4 and even 5, I would walk around the city and just the NPCs alone, like they would pick the phone would ring and they would pick up the phone and they would have a full blown conversation on the phone. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, they would. Yeah.
wow, you know, and it was just like it just made you feel like you were in the city, you know, rather than just like an NPC just walking past you, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, my point was I don't want to see, like a vanilla type. Everybody's walking and everybody's going to do missions, and this. I want to see unusual things you may that they make just some throwback things that, like I said, guys, girls standing on the corner singing, people come up to you and interact with you in a different way. Some people may even, I guess, cuss you out or something like that. You're minding your business. I just want to see some unusual things going on in
See
the
what you
game.
mean.
Yeah,
Not
so,
everybody's an action hero.
yeah, kind of surprising things like that. Yeah, that would throw you off. Like, oh, what did he say? You know.
And this just came out too. This is on September 9th, so who knows when the next episode will be. Someone can look in their videos to see when the previous one aired, so we can probably get an idea of how long it'll take for the next one. But yeah, this is I want to say Elite Expedition, but this is Duck of Death, Not All Division, Black Tide, Star Citizen episode 2. So hope everyone enjoyed it. And with that, I think we're going to wrap up. Before we do so, though, I just want to say, save the date. There's going to be a Soul Citizen watch party. Let me change the scene real quick. Yep, the Soul Citizen watch party on October 8th, 2022. I got together with Griffin, and she says she wants to be like we want to start a half hour before the actual show starts. So we're thinking about now 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. Sorry, I forgot to put Eastern time in there, and at 2:30 p.m. UTC. So convert that to your local time zone. So looking forward to that. This Soul Citizen watch party for CitizenCon. Also, we're having a Bar Citizen the following week. There we go. So October 15th, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern to 9 p.m. Eastern, or that's 7 p.m. UTC to 1 a.m. UTC. We're having a virtual Bar Citizen. Hopefully you put the link in the chat for me. But yeah, just click on that link and register. You'll get an email back confirming your information to join the meeting. Make sure you keep that email. Make sure it doesn't go into your spam box, or if it does get into your spam box, move it to your regular inbox before it gets deleted. So yeah, 3 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, October 15th, the week after CitizenCon. So hopefully people can hang out for that. It should be fun. And on Saturday, this coming Saturday, thank you, Chief, for that. We are having we're doing Soul Voices again with Griffin Gaming RPG. Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. UTC, where we talk about what's going on in the community, but it's more of a one-on-one conversation. We talk about stuff that's on Reddit, Spectrum, and what's happening in the industry news. So check us out for that. Next preview. Oh, before I get to that, that's part of Podcast Saturday. Every Saturday, we start off with Soul Voices 3 p.m. The after party at 6 p.m. for Captain Table, and Relay at 9 p.m. So that'll be evening, at least on the American side, North American side, evening and afternoon of podcast from Talk About Star Citizen. So check that out. And on Sunday, getting my days mixed up. On Sunday, we're having another Shipyard episode, Origin Jumpwood. I just gotta say, I'm gonna be on that show, but please support me on Sunday. I'm gonna be outnumbered by Origin lovers. Please come help me out. I'm gonna need all the help I can get.
As an Origin lover,
I thought you was gonna be on Team Origin.
Yeah, as an Origin lover, I'll make sure I'm there. Yes, no question.
Yes,
Oh,
I'll be there
no.
for Origin too.
Yeah, but that's Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, midnight UTC. So come in and join in for that. It should be a lot of fun. And that's it. About it. I want to say thank you for everyone who joining me. Join me today. Everyone in Twitch chat and YouTube chat. Big Black Gaming, Fitch Space, Kaizen, Pop and Bates, and you write books. Thank you all for joining me, for hanging out and talking with us. Make sure. You can also become a soul bro, soul sister, or soulmate. Soul sister members have the privileges. You can so you support click on the join button on YouTube for that.
Now,
Also, you can
Saturday.
go ahead.
Oh, okay. Now, Saturday is in the Player Haters coming on Saturday. The Soul
Yeah, I
Voice.
forgot about that. You're right. Thank you for that.
All right.
Player Haters coming on this Saturday, so you don't want to miss that for Soul Voices. Make sure you check us out on social media with Soul Citizens everywhere with an S on the end. You can buy out merchandise. You can sell a t-shirt, cap, mugs, what have you. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and follow button, depending on what platform you're on. And I think that's about it. I believe we're going to raid Yo-Yo Meg, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, we are raiding Yo-Yo Meg. So make sure you send her our love. And stay tuned next week to find out what my name or title will be. For instance, instead of community treasure, it could be pumpkin.
Okay. All
And for
right.
that,
All
love
right.
and soul. Tell Yo-Yo Meg hi for us. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, as long as you don't use pudding, please never don't use FC pudding, okay? Bye.
FC pudding pot.
Pudding, yeah.
Oh, brother. I called him pumpkin yesterday.
Up 20 in the show, but it looks like actually doesn't want to end. I click on the button and